an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unscrupled, covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 7, Episodes 5 and 6, Selfless and Him. In these episodes, Dracarys. Welcome to Unscrupled. Hi, y'all.
Hey.
I'm in a mood.
Yeah, you are.
I'm really mad.
I bet.
I'm really fucking pissed off. This episode, was building so well, and I was so excited. And then it had to take a big Joss Whedon-sized dump all over everything and just piss me off with bad character plotting and no stakes, and I'm so fucking angry. Start talking, bitches, because I need to gather myself right now.
Well, we're gonna circle back and explore some of that, because I saw some pretty decent stakes, actually. But yeah, this is an episode I haven't seen a whole bunch. This was, I think, my second time seeing it, because I find some of it a little... Well, it's not as fun an episode of Buffy as some of them are. That's for darn sure. And yeah, it deals with some messed up truths and some issues in the Slayer world that you have to deal with. Like when you're hanging out with demons, what happens when they're just killing too darn many folks?
But it doesn't deal with them. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking mad. Ugh. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'm kind of wondering, should we do our recap, and I'll just, maybe I'll get in a gushy mood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, talk about how good it is, and, put my feelings about the ending of this episode aside until we get to the end of the episode, and then scream into the heavens and probably get fired because we are at an empty office in our building.
Yes.
Or should we just, dive the fuck in and talk about why this was such a fucking clusterfuck?
Let's talk about the episode, because, again, I don't think it was clusterfuck.
Okay. Is this a highly regarded episode?
Not particularly.
It's very splashy, and it has that, top 10 episodes of Buffy aura about it.
No. I've never seen this one on a best of list.
Really?
People don't actually like AYNA.
I see their point, but I don't even have to like AYNA to be disappointed in what happens here. So.
Okay. So yeah, we come into this episode with, oh gosh, I don't even know what happens in the very first part.
We're looking at the scene of the crime where there's all these dead boys, and okay with dead frat boys. These are not it's not like we're invested in these people. Clearly they did something fucked up.
Yeah,
because it's AYNA who's there.
On the scale of frat boys doing some messed up things, I think this is actually on the low end. Yes, it was hideous and cruel and playing with people's hearts, but it wasn't a drugged gang rape or anything. And,
it had a feeling like it was going that direction, and I'm glad it didn't go that direction.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't progress.
It means a lot to me in that these are the wages that the Justice Demons play in. These are the stakes of what you have to look out for when you are cruel to a woman.
Okay.
And this is not a world I want to live in, but this is this sort of plays by the rules and adds some tension to, it gets it a little morally gray. And yeah, because the story that we haven't gotten to yet is that a frat boy is dating this woman, and this woman he invites her to a party, and they go to the party, and it's at his frat house. And at the frat house, he breaks up with her because it was all a game, and they were just, like, I don't know, having a bet, and they all started laughing at her, and they just made her feel like shit. Right? Yeah. And you can say, yeah, those crimes aren't worthy of death, and I agree, but these are also not the type of people who I think would hesitate at crimes worthy of death.
Well, we can't say one way or the other, and speculation at this point is just kind of wink.
But it doesn't matter to me, because this is what a justice demon does.
And yeah, the girl did wish aloud that she wished they could all feel just once what it feels like to have your heart ripped out of your chest.
Right.
And so Anya obliged by bringing forth a spider thing from a hell dimension that likes to rip out hearts. I mean, it just makes sense. She's very literal. And it proceeds to, and it wreaks havoc amongst the frat boys and then frees itself to an unwitting populace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, but...
They don't need vengeance.
So, I'm not, this is good storytelling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's bad storytelling. I'm saying it's sloppy vengeance work. I
don't agree. I feel like part of the vengeance work is not just you have to... Let's go way back in time to 880 AD to when we see Olaf again.
Oh, yeah, because we did have an extended flashback.
We did, so...
And wow, those actors must have learned a lot of Norwegian.
I don't know that it's actually Norwegian.
Well, whatever they learned, there was a lot of it.
Anyway, so Abraham Ben Ruby, who continually proves that he is the best person in any show because he's just so fucking excited to be there.
And he's been on every show forever.
Yeah, even in, that stupid Parker Lewis Can't Lose when he played a bully, it's just, you could tell that he's just... I am so happy to be playing this part, and I'm giving it everything I have, and I enjoy the camera on me. And that's a kind of infectious energy that I love.
Yes.
So, so her name is Aud, and she has a boyfriend whose name is Olaf, and Olaf likes her.
Yep.
And,
even though she's strange.
She's strange, and she's weird, and nobody likes her, and she's, we see, why Anya's such a giant pain in the ass, because she's always been a giant pain in the ass, and she never learned social graces, so I'm starting to forgive the show a little bit, because now, after the fact, they're kind of retconning her to be, socially awkward, but, yeah, and she's weird, and she doesn't do well with social stuff, but, Olaf likes to drink, and he likes to raise hell, and he likes to kill trolls.
Yeah.
And he likes to fuck. And he lives in a society where you're supposed to fuck things, and that shows your masculinity. And of course, he betrays her by cheating on her.
Yes.
Probably just like everyone else in the village, and I'm kind of I see the attraction there between the two of them, and I also see I see that this is not something that would be uncommon, but it's still something that deserves to be punished. And then we get Aud learning some witchcraft and turning him into a troll and killing him with irony, or not killing him, but the entire, and she's I'm putting myself in this woman's position. This woman is angry, and she's angry at her boyfriend for betraying her, and she's angry at society for saying this is okay, so she punishes them both.
Yeah, and she makes him hate himself as much as she hates him right now.
Exactly, and she's looking at the destruction she has wrought. And that's kind of the point of, I feel like, the Vengeance Demon, is that it's not just about punishing the person who wronged the woman, it's also about punishing, everyone else, and making the woman who made the wish stare into the abyss and wish she hadn't. And that's where yes, that's the demony goodness I want here, right? This is an effective demon racket. So yeah, I'm so she gets offered a job by De Halfren.
Yeah.
And he says, you could be great. And it turns out she is great. You know why? Because she knows that men are trash. And she knows that society cannot be saved because it's trash too. And it sort of...
She has hope for society. She has 180'd on her former economic and social theories, and that was a thing I actually kind of took umbrage at.
Let's get there.
Okay.
Let's talk about this chronologically, right? So now Anya is she's offered a job as a vengeance demon, right? And the next time we see her, she's in Russia in 1905, right? And the Tsar is about to be overthrown, and it's entirely her fault. And she's... we have this conversation with Hallfrick, where Hallfrick's like, let's take some time off. Let's go see what else there is to do. And she's like, what else is there to do but do this? And that's like, it makes me feel that's why de Hoffrin chooses her as a demon, because if that little girl who had like killed the entire frat party had looked upon it and said, yes, I like this. And she had looked out the window and said, yes, the world deserves this spider. De Hoffrin probably would have offered her a job too.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's what separates Anya from other people who take their revenge, is that they are horrified at looking into the abyss, and she's like, yeah, it's no worse than what I got.
Yeah, that's a familiar abyss.
So, yeah, she's looking at all these dead Russian royals, and she's saying, like, yeah, there's going to be an economic upheaval, and she talks about it like this is the best move for everyone, but I don't think she believes it. She's just sort of, yeah, maybe she wants society to get better, but part of her knows it won't. So she'll always have a job. Men will always be trashy to women. Yeah. And then the next thing we see from her is the musical number that happened while the musical demon was ravaging Sunnydale. I got that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a flashback to that part, and holy crap, they didn't need to do the whole song. That really,
I agree, they didn't have to do the whole song.
That was bad.
But it really solidified me. Like, there's so much Anya character development here, and like now I see this woman who's been, she's decided that society isn't worth it. She's decided that men aren't worth it, and then through a fuck up that is not her fault, her boss decides to take her down a peg, and she's back in the human world. And she's met a dude. He's kind of schlubby. He's kind of a goober, but he loves her. And she's starting to feel like maybe the world isn't so bad. And she's starting to get excited about something other than taking vengeance. And I'm like, and then I think about like everything that's happened since her wedding. Like Xander.
Wait. Time out. Before we go to the wedding, we have got to talk about this song, because if you listen to the lyrics, it's all about her making being Xander's wife her entire identity. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't gonna fly for long under the best of circumstances. I
agree, but I can
totally see why that would make her that much more hurt when she gets left at the altar. But Jesus fuck, guys.
I feel like it feels believable to me in that right before your wedding, this is something that you would feel like and you would quickly grow out of.
Okay, that's fair. I just needed us to talk for a minute about the lyrics of that song.
Oh yeah, I didn't really like
I wanted to headbutt the song.
The song wasn't great, but it did like. It was nice to see, like, here is a character journey when now she's getting a taste of being a human again, and she's looking at Xander and she's not seeing Olaf, and she's feeling hopeful about the future. And okay, like, I hate the song, and that would probably wear off a week after the wedding when she's not excited about getting married again.
Yeah, when it's not the project you've been building up to for years.
It's in that moment when she's feeling this way that Xander dashes her hopes on the rocks the way that he does. She's feeling up and high and excited about a life with this man, and he fucking dumps her at the altar, right? And then what happens? She goes to her friends. Do they take her side? No. In fact, the only person who shows up to support her is Hallfrick. What conclusion is she supposed to draw from this? Like, holy shit, it's been 1,200 years, men still suck, society still sucks. I met these people, I thought we were close, we had adventures, we shared our secrets, and yet they still sided with this motherfucker. I am clearly wronged here. They're not even doing the, like, okay, Xander, we're cutting you off for a while because you're the bad guy here, so you've got to let things die down and we're not going to talk to you for a few months. They don't even make that paltry step towards making her feel better. So this is where I'm like, yes, Anya is at a point where everything sucks. She was right the entire time. Why the fuck shouldn't I be a vengeance demon?
Okay, but realistically, they were Xander's friends first, and that's not how friends work. I mean, if, let's say, for instance, you and me, we're tight. Mm-hmm. We've been tight forever. Mm-hmm. If girlfriend and I set a date and I just didn't show up that day, would you cut me off for a month?
No, but I also probably wouldn't be too surprised if your girlfriend became a vengeance demon and roasted me alive. And I can't say I wouldn't deserve it either.
Okay. But, like, seriously, on the like, scale of what friends are expected to do, that's not one of them. Pretty much you see your friend doing some crazy-ass shit, like leaving someone at the altar, you check in on them and be like, are you having a nervous breakdown, honey? Because this isn't like you.
Okay.
And I get it. Anya doesn't have any human friends of her own.
No,
that she
doesn't
get through Xander. And they pretty much just always tolerated her because they liked him. Mm-hmm. God only knows why they like him, but whatever.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
But seriously, like, I don't know why you would expect them to do anything else.
I wouldn't, but I would also expect Anya to realize, oh, turns out humans suck after all.
Yeah.
And human society is not worth being a part of. Oh, no. Once again, I am burned by a man. And once again, nobody cares.
Yeah, all that's left is that warm, loving vengeance.
Exactly. So, like, this is why I'm so on board with Anya being a vengeance demon again. Because, like, and this, all this backstory, it works so well. And yeah, and she's like, Halfric is still here. Halfric is still hanging out and saying, like, you did good. Like, you ever been working with someone and they've been having a bad month?
Yeah.
And, like, they're dealing with some personal stuff. And then there's this one thing that comes along, and they just fucking nail it hard. Mm-hmm. And you're like, yes, this is why you work here.
Yeah, high five, bro.
Exactly. And that's what Anya did. And they said, you need to step your pussy up. And she stepped her pussy up.
Yes.
Right? This is like...
She really did.
She lip-synced for her life last week, and this week she won the challenge. Like...
Yeah, she did, but then she had all this fucking remorse because she was human too long, and now she has, some kind of reverence for human life, I guess.
Yeah. And
which is a problem.
It's a problem for her job, but it's not an insurmountable problem for her. I wish they'd given us some of her early work when she was struggling with that kind of thing.
I feel like what I want from that moment is for, like, her to be talking to Hoffren or Halfrek in a classic, like, therapist pose where they're in a wingback chair and she's on a couch and she's like, yeah, I just got so attached to humans because they could do the cutest things. And he's like, yes, but what about all of this war, violence, anger, holocausts? I mean, like, seriously, humans, they're kind of like scum.
Yep.
And her just, like, being like, that's right. I'd forgotten how scummy they can be. I'm going to ponder that.
Yeah.
And just, like, doing some real work on herself to really deaden those nerves. But that's what I want to see. I guess that's probably not what everyone else wants to see.
So,
but we got the opposite of that.
And I can deal with Anya having feelings of remorse because, like, even though she feels righteous, even though she feels justified, even though I empathize with that position and feel like that's the character choice, like, it makes her three-dimensional. She hasn't been not human for very long. she's going to have some of those pangs of what it means to cross that moral event horizon, you know? And I'm okay with her having to work out those feelings. So, yeah. So then, like, let's take a brief detour, and I want to kind of talk about Willow. Okay. So...
Because an interesting point gets made.
Yes. What was that interesting point? I'm hoping we have the same one.
That they're talking about killing Anya because Slayers kill demons.
I'm talking before that when Willow is saving the poor girl in the closet.
No, go ahead and tell me.
Okay, so Willow is she sees Anya coming out of this frat house. I really like that outfit. That kind of like it's almost like camouflage canvas skirt and the red stockings and a red shirt, and I'm like, okay, Willow's learned to shop. I'm hoping that's Tara's influence.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. Might have been Oz's, actually.
You're so fired.
I feel like Oz is a lot more likely to take her into a Hot Topic than Tara.
I think they're both totally likely to do that.
Okay.
Because malls are boring.
Yeah.
And Hot Topic's not boring.
Okay, yeah, she goes in, she finds all the bodies, she finds the girl in the closet, and then the spider jumps out at her, and she stops it with a force field and throws it out the window.
Oh.
And her eyes went black.
Yeah, and she snaps at the girl.
Right.
Like, don't fucking talk to me right now.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, this is why I thought that flashing back to her Oud days really worked, in that, because Willow decides to ask to speak to the manager.
Yeah.
And she has a conversation with de Hoffren.
Yes, she does.
And de Hoffren says, I don't remember his exact words, but he says, I've got plans for you.
Yeah, de Hoffren gave her a hot job offer, and Willow's...
And this is where I'm seeing the pattern, is that women who see through and see what a shithole human society can be, and are willing to take that power unto themselves to correct some of it, that's how he recruits.
Huh. Well, that is a thing that Willow had going on. She was so mad at the world for a minute, she was just going to end it all.
But in that moment, she lashed out at that little girl.
Yeah, she did.
I was like, oh, that's what de Hoffren's picking up on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's still in her. The anger is still there. The power is still there. And anger comes real easy when you're powerful.
I find this fascinating. This is good world building. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not just, there's demons and they eat people and we need to kill them. There's like, no, there's a reason these demons exist. There's a reason they recruit the way they do. There's a reason they have the rules that they do. Okay,
so that said, there's also a lot of talk about morality in this episode.
Okay, let's put a pin in that.
Fine.
We will talk about that.
Yeah,
because we have to talk about, like, the rest of the fucking show.
Okay.
To get to this point too.
Okay.
All right. So what else happens? So before she asks to speak to the manager, she goes to talk to Willow and Xander, and tells them there's a spider demon.
Yeah, there is.
Right, and Willow and Xander go to fight the spider demon.
I thought that was Buffy and.
Sorry, Buffy.
Buffy and Xander. Yeah, Willow.
Getting all these white ladies confused.
I forget what Willow does, but it's not go to fight the
She goes to speak to the manager.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
and Buffy and Xander go to fight the spider. And the spider is... Well, he's kicking Xander's ass. Xander makes great bait, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
Yep.
And no one will be too sad if he dies.
Not really. No.
So, yeah. So there's a brief fight where it's like... kind of liked the badass Buffy just throwing... You noticed it was Olaf's axe?
Oh, yeah, I did not notice that. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
So, God, this episode was so good until the end. Yeah, they kill the spider demon, they head back, and they meet up at Buffy's house, and Willow says, like, Willow rolls it out that this was Anya's work. And then there's the fight between Buffy and Xander.
Yeah, because here we face a moral issue.
Yes.
Is it okay to kill Anya just because... Well, one, because she's killing people, and two, because she's a demon. If she's a human and kills people, she gets a second chance, much as Willow did. If she's a demon and kills people, no second chance will be extended. And Xander thinks that's pretty fucked up. And a lot of people are asking, so what is the difference between a person and a demon? How come, like, this whole, oh, he has a soul thing changes things? And can you prove that demons don't have souls? They don't talk about that, but that's totally in my head. Mm-hmm. And it even spills over into the next episode. But I think Dawn puts it best when she's like, well, Willow had a soul when she killed all those people, and Xander had a soul when he left Anya at the altar. I'm not really seeing how a soul makes such a difference, which is the point that you, Money, have been making this entire time.
Yes.
And all this time I've been assuring you silently that we do get to a point where we talk about it, and this is it.
Okay, yeah. And I'm like, you can put all of this aside, but Buffy is like, finally this is coming to a head. Because Anya has made her choice twice now. Yep. She is not on your side. Nope. You do not have the authority to say what she is doing is wrong. The only thing you can do is stop her.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like, yes, finally. They're going to have to deal with it, like... Because I've been so fucking frustrated because we have had both Willow and Faith cross that moral event horizon and be pulled back by the sheer power of friendship. And we've had demons cross that moral event horizon with Spike and Angel, and still they get pulled back. Angel even got to come back from the dead and be a good person again. Yep. Like, what the fuck? There's no stakes. Like, these... So here we are. And like, finally, after 7 years of Buffy, we are like, okay... Here is someone who has been wrong and decides to take it out. It is the Slayer's job to put them down. Yes, Slayer, you are going to have to kill a friend. You know why? Because they don't want to stop. And they think they're righteous. And you're going to have to fucking live with that. And Buffy's prepared to live with that. It's Xander who's making all the moral qualms here, that thinks that she's savable. But, like, I'm fucking tired of them being savable. Have some goddamn fucking stakes where they actually have to, like, do something. Like, everyone we've lost has been fridged rather than, like, have to be put down. Yep. You know, we've had 4 people who needed to be put down and they weren't. And we've had 3 people who didn't need to be put down and were killed to give their boyfriend something to do, or their girlfriend. Yes. And I'm like, finally, you're going to cross that line. You're going to be an adult show. Sorry, guys. I had to, like, take a little interruption there. So you lost me at my biggest angry face. But finally, that they're going to have to pay a price. That, like, you're going to have to take someone down. Someone that you care about. Someone that you fought with. Because they've made the wrong decisions. Right? And you're going to have to do more than just be broody about your fucking choices. You're actually going to have to deal with loss, because you know why? You're the fucking Slayer and these are your sidekicks. And not everyone's getting out of this alive. But what do? I don't mind Anya still having pangs of regret. I don't even mind her deciding to making the decision that she doesn't want to keep going, that she wants to be out of this world. What I fucking mind is that the show doesn't have the balls to actually make her pay that price. They make Hallfrick pay the price. Once again, we have a likable female character who is fridged to make a regular member of the Scooby Gang feel bad about themselves. That is where you fucking went with all of this, with thousands of years of build-up and of, like, a complete character arc. Oh, it would have been so fucking poetic. Do you see why I'm mad about this?
I do see why I'm mad about this.
Season 8 Game of Thrones level mad about this.
Wow, that's pretty mad. That's pretty
You
mad.
went right the fuck, in the last 5 minutes of the episode, Joss, you went right the fuck back to your comfort zone.
Yup.
We've been there before. I don't need Anya brooding like Angel and Spike and Willow. I've got enough brooding.
Do you think she's actually going to brood?
I don't fucking care.
Oh.
Someone needs to pay a price. People, like, it's anyone in the Scooby Gang. If they die, they come back. The only person we've lost in the main cast has been fucking Doyle. He's the only one who stays dead.
Yeah, that's fair.
We've lost Buffy twice and Angel once.
We've lost...
But they can't stay dead because this show just can't deal with, like, it can't even keep Giles gone because it doesn't want to let go of shit.
The only things that we've left dead are Joyce and Tara at this point.
And they've been fridged, and they weren't even part of the main cast.
Oh, and Jenny.
Jenny, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra, again, fridged.
Yeah.
All of these people done to, like, these are not complete character arcs. They're people who are dead to make the main cast brood.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was so excited to see Buffy finally coming to terms with what she is and what that means. I am a slayer. I fucking kill things. I kill things who need to be killed. Someone I loved needed to be killed. And Xander having to deal with this girl I've been in love with since I was 16 and was pining for all through as she killed my fucking fiancé. You know why? Because my fiancé needed to be killed. Having to come to terms with that. But none of them have to do it.
Yeah, okay. I'm on your side. This is a cop-out.
Yeah.
And I honestly think America wasn't ready for that kind of real in what is essentially a paranormal sitcom.
It's not about real. It's just about, like, these are the wages of what you do. You are the slayer. That means death will follow you. But it doesn't count if the only people who die are the ones that, like, are only there to make you feel gloomy. You know? Where is Buffy coming face to face with what she is?
That's fair.
And I was so ready for Xander to finally come to terms with what Buffy is.
Yeah. That's fair.
You are on opposite sides and you fucking copped out, and I don't buy DeHoffman's stupid, I'm going to choose pain. Why choose death when you could choose pain? And it's like...
Yeah, because he just took a working vengeance demon off of his
makes
roster.
No goddamn sense. It's all, I guess, like, they didn't have pop dolls back then.
No.
At this point, if this had happened in Game of Thrones, I'd be like, you want to sell fucking pop dolls. You don't want the sales to drop off because this person is gone from the cast. That's what it felt like to me.
Okay.
And you don't even have that excuse. Because they didn't sell Buffy action figures, did they?
Oh, they sold Buffy merch all over the fucking place.
Did they sell Anya action figures?
I think they had Anya action figures, but there was some Buffy merch. Not like today, not like... So back in the early thousands, like, nerd culture wasn't as popular as it is now. It was getting there. This was part of it getting there, but it wasn't like non-nerds wore superhero t-shirts and thought that was okay. So yeah, it was a different time, and there was less merchandising than there is now. But it was still there. But Anya wasn't really a part of it. So whatever this is, it's not driven by revenue. I think it's driven by Joss can't let go of his darlings. Or at least not at this point. He gets better at it, doesn't he, guys?
Oh, God, does he? I'm so...
The thing is, we're mad at him when he does, and we're mad at him when he doesn't.
And it's like, you said it yourself, he had checked out at this point, and he was doing other shit. So.
Oh, yeah, this was right when he was making Firefly.
When I'm yelling at Joss, I'm kind of just yelling at the show itself, because there's a whole room full of people who have to answer for this poor decision.
There are a lot of other writers that contributed to this entire season, and... well, we'll see where it goes and how we like it.
I'm just, like, Did you ever watch Dead Like Me?
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember that pilot episode when she refuses to take the little girl's soul? And then her boss gives her this speech. It's like, have you ever seen a soul rot? Where, like, they just slowly and shrivel, and because they should have been cut off there. And instead of a clean, healthy branch of life, you've got a withered limb. That's like what it feels like when you have a character who is around too long.
Like, I don't know. Spike.
Yeah.
Don't know what got into me.
I mean, we all know these characters on shows. And you know exactly, I can't bring up the ones in Lost, but it's just, at some point you're like, why are you fucking here? Your character arc is over.
Yeah.
When other, usually female character arcs are cut short.
Yeah, because really, what else does Anya have to do now?
And that's what, like, I may be in the minority in liking Anya and liking what she represents, but I was so fucking excited to see this story arc, and so... Oh, and now she's gonna rot there like a dead limb, still sucking nutrients off the rest of the Scooby Gang.
See, here I thought you'd be more mad if she had died.
No.
You'd be content if she died.
I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would understand that this is the logical end here.
You would have railed against her and told her she should have gotten out of Sunnydale when she had the chance, goddammit. But yeah, okay, that's fair.
Because that would have been a satisfying character arc, and I don't know what's left here.
Yeah, that would have had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And now we don't know if there's an end.
Right.
But we'll keep on keeping on to find out.
I hope so.
Is there anything left to say about this?
I don't know. Do you have anything to say about this?
I think you said, like, everything that there is to say about this one. Dracarys. Yeah. I totally see how it lifted you up and then dashed your hopes right there on the rocks.
It's like, there is nothing like having your hopes dashed by mediocrity.
Yeah.
There is nothing more disappointing.
Yeah, pretty much. I thought the moment when Buffy stabbed her completely through with the sword that I was going to look over and just see a pillar of flame.
No,
where you were sitting.
I was kind of like, I was content.
You were zen about it.
I was like, yes, this is like, I don't want to see this person go, but it is time for this person to go.
Okay. That's completely fair.
So
immediately after that episode, we took a little pause because you needed a minute, and I needed to give you a minute. And then we watched the next episode, which is some season 1 Buffy level frivolity and a complete 180 from the feels of the last one.
If these two episodes had been switched, I would have seriously enjoyed this episode.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
Like, it was such a fucking mood whiplash.
The rest of us had a week in between these, and they really needed us to pull us back to the fun side of Buffy.
Are they expecting you to be... Like, I'm angry because they didn't kill Anya. So yeah. I'm wondering what they're trying to pull you up from.
Well, the mind fuck, honestly.
Okay.
Because it's like, yeah, we're going to kill Anya and she's doing a noble thing. She's going out with some kind of integrity. That would have been a good death. Like, as awful as death is, there's bad death and there's less bad death. And that would have been solidly in the less bad category.
Right.
Where she was choosing to do the right thing by the new morality she has established through her time as a human.
Or Buffy kills her. Either of those would have been satisfactory.
Either of those would have been, yeah, and then they fuck us and kill someone who we don't think of as good, but we think of fondly.
Yeah.
We think she's an interesting character who always adds to whatever scene she's in. Mm-hmm. And they just unceremoniously disintegrate her for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's
And that is a lot of feels. And so, yeah, Buffy needed to, like, give us some aftercare after that with something fun and maybe not as serious and a completely recycled plot line. And I honestly love that they fully admitted that it was a completely recycled plot line.
Yeah, I mean, it stank of filler, but I couldn't even enjoy that two actresses who I've enjoyed very much played very small parts. So,
oh, yeah. There was a couple, hey, it's that guy's.
Uh-huh. All right, so let's talk about this episode.
So do you remember being, like, before puberty hit, when, like, things were so clear?
Mm-hmm.
And adults were just, like, these crazy people who did shit that didn't make any sense, and you didn't have all those hormones coursing through you telling you that, you know, some things are a priority that really don't add to your productivity or your enjoyment of life at all. Namely, our sex drives are killing us, guys. Maybe not us. Just, like, our love of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dawn is on the cusp of puberty, but her brain, for the first part of this episode, was still solidly in the things make logical sense except for sex and relationships. Those make no goddamn sense. And then it hits her. Yes, it's a spell whammy, but it hits her.
Yeah.
Puberty.
Is that the metaphor we're dealing with?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it that much. I just know all of a sudden Dawn's got some feels.
Yeah, I'd say, like, I made the mistake of reading the recap as we were waiting for the episode to start.
Oh, you fool.
The little, like, blurb of what's going on. So I kind of knew this was coming. But what I wasn't expecting is that this kid would be so fucking oblivious.
Oh, the jacket kid?
Yeah.
He's not oblivious. He doesn't know that it's necessarily the jacket, but he knows there's some fucking mojo going on.
Yeah, he's like...
Because he just coasts on it.
He does, but he's not using it the way someone who would trade for it. You know, if he had sought this out, he would be a lot more aggressive about it.
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't have to seek anything out. It just flings itself at him.
Yeah.
He banged his guidance counselor, for Christ's sake. Granted, she banged him and should probably go to jail.
Yeah, that was not...
That was not okay, guys. That's statutory rape.
Although I don't think sex actually happened. I think they were just, like, on top of each other.
She was just riding his crotch.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, like, would a zipper be a problem in that? Would you need to take the pants all the way down?
No.
Okay, so, like, she totally could have been riding his dick right there. She did refer to him as her lover several times.
Yeah, but that's, like, the jacket makes you not...
Not rational.
The jacket makes you exaggerate things in your mind.
That's fair. Okay, so in our hearts, are we going to agree to believe that he and Buffy just made out a lot?
Yeah, and they did some grinding.
Okay. And some dry humping.
Right.
Solid dry humping.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe damp humping, but still.
Mm-hmm.
There was a barrier.
Yeah, I don't think they actually crossed that Rubicon.
Because I really don't want Buffy to be guilty of statutory rape because of a spell.
Yeah, and that's... This episode was lighthearted enough that I didn't really think about it that hard, because...
Yeah, I really, really hate when lady teachers molest their teenage students and everyone's like, oh, lucky kid, that's awesome. Because no, it fucks those boys up.
Yeah, it's not cool.
It hurts them in ways that even they don't comprehend for years.
Yeah.
And it's not okay.
And I'm not okay with the word statutory. It's rape. This person cannot consent.
That's fair. But I think the word statutory is important because if you ask that kid, he'd be like, no, I totally consented. I want this.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyway. So there's a magic jacket. And how this works is that Ricky Lindholm from Garfunkel and Oates, who you should be listening to because they're fucking hilarious, and also Clementine from Westworld.
It's a star-studded Buffy, you guys.
I'm like, wow, like these two women, I had to look them both up because they like it was so long ago that I'm like
17 years ago they had their first part. Probably their first speaking role. This might have been where they got their GLAD cards, guys.
Yeah. GLAD?
Or not GLAD.
SAG?
SAD. SAG. Whatever.
They're sad cards.
They're sad cards. You know what? It's been a long day.
Yeah. So, the gist of this is that this guy has a jacket, which he may or may not know is his magic charm that any woman will just get incredibly wet for him. Dawn is the first victim, other than these two unnamed people who we don't really get to know at all.
Yeah. Is Dawn a freshman?
Yes.
Okay. Is this kid a freshman?
No, I think he's a senior.
Oh.
He's a star quarterback.
Oh, yeah. So he's at least a junior.
At a high school that size, like, rarely, if ever, would you'd need a really bad crop of seniors to put a junior on as a starting quarterback.
We had one. My school was solid 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could be a junior, but I don't know. He's got facial hair.
Okay, fine. He's probably a senior. And senior makes the whole thing a lot better because maybe he's 18.
Yeah. That's where I'm going with it.
I'm hoping.
So yeah, the cheerleaders are super into him. Dawn is super into him. Buffy decides to have a conversation with him when she finds, like, Dawn fucking threw a guy down the stairs.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah, that absolutely happened. Dawn, like... Let's not fuck with Dawn, okay? Just in general, let's not fuck with Dawn. Oh, and the dude figured that out and liked her more for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He cannot be trusted.
No.
Like taking his jacket away is the best.
Men are terrible. Anya was right. I'm going to keep going.
That's fair, yeah. Men are terrible. Anya was right. I gotta say... I really love how they ended up solving this problem. That was my favorite part.
Oh, stealing his jacket?
Yeah. Spike and Xander band together to run up behind him and take his jacket off him.
Yeah, that was kind of awesome.
It was
and
like,
that's
you're sure about the plan here? It's like, yeah, I'm sure.
That was the clue that makes me think he doesn't know it's the jacket, because he doesn't, like... He
doesn't flip out.
No, he doesn't chase after it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's a jacket. I lost a jacket in Southern California.
Yeah, a jacket that is way too warm for any weather we have here.
Exactly.
Like, you could wear that at 10 o'clock at night in the dead of winter, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he doesn't get all butthurt about it. He doesn't chase him. So yeah, he probably just thought he was that cool.
Yep.
Never realized that it was the enchanted jacket all along.
Mm-hmm.
And this jacket affects everyone with a vagina, regardless of stated sexual preference.
Yes.
Although I think Willow has a little bit of self-hating by erasure.
This was like... This could have been a fight last night when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of lesbians who dated and slept with and enjoyed sleeping with men.
Okay.
For a while before becoming full Kinsey 6 lesbians.
Okay. It is possible to be a lesbian and not hate sex with men.
Right.
That's 100% possible.
Or it's just like, you know, there's a time before you look at people in the same sex and you think this is how it works.
Yeah. Sometimes it does take a hot minute to clue in.
Right. So that's the story I always assumed we were watching with Willow, because she drops any and all attraction to men outside of magic.
That's fair.
In fact, she tries to turn him into a woman.
She was fixing to turn him into a girl just to make it work.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I hate the bi erasure. I hate that Willow can't be bisexual, and that's not a story that this show is ready to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But within the context, within the parameters of the story set here,
mm-hmm.
it feels like she's a 100% ass lesbian.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And
do you know who I thought was behind this?
Who?
Amy. Because it sounds like something she would do.
It is totally something she would do.
Yeah.
Especially with her hatred of cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 4 women in the Scooby Gang each handle this thing in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn decides to kill herself by going to lay on the train tracks.
Fucking Dawn.
Buffy decides to get a fucking bazooka. Where did she get that?
Where wouldn't she get him? She just, like, has him lying around from that one time she blew up the blue guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't take it back to the army. How do you even explain that? She probably just had an extra lying around. And she was going to go kill Principal Wood to show how much she loves RJ.
Right. And that was a really good, well-shot scene.
That was fantastic. Where Spike's just tackling her in the background. That was some lighthearted family fun.
Yeah, like that finally got me to smile after the last episode that I was so angry about. And Willow decides to cast a spell and turn him into a woman, which honestly, same.
Yeah. Well, okay, how did she get foiled? I forget.
Oh, they just come in and take her crystals before she's done.
Oh, they just snatch them up and he's like, get in the car, you asshole.
And Anya decides to go rob a bank. And of the ramifications of what each of these people is going to do, I'm like, yeah, Anya's the lowest priority here.
Yeah, she's going to impress him with money, which would work for a time. I mean, let's be real. Anya has a solid plan.
Also, Anya needs money. She's got no job. She's got a very nice apartment, and she's got with rent to pay, and she's got no social security number.
And her income is zilch right now. She's unemployed.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sure she picked one that is FDIC insured.
Yep. So, yeah, guys, don't try to intervene with bank robbers. Your money's insured. It's fine.
Yeah. The government's going to give it back, and they'll prosecute anyone they catch the full extent of the law.
What bank do you rob after dark? Was it in a grocery store?
Well, I mean, I think she legit had a cat burglar outfit and a big bag with a $sign on the back.
She did some breaking and entering. Okay. I was like, who are you going to stick up? There ain't no one there.
She legit robbed a bank, and I think she probably, She
burgled a bank. She didn't rob them.
Whatever. She didn't... It wasn't like a daytime robbery where she's holding people up, but, I mean... Burgling and robbing have some overlap. Anyway, let's not get down to semantics. Let's talk about how wonderful that was.
That was pretty cute. And Spike has moved into Xander's place.
Yeah, Spike needs a place to stay that's not the school basement, and apparently he can't go back to his crypt because he needs a sitter.
Yeah.
And Xander is not pleased about this because they've been roomies before.
Yeah, they have.
And Spike is not the best roommate.
Yeah.
And neither is Xander. They hate each other for a reason. Like, legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
They loathe each other as people. Anyway, so that's all going down, and they decide to gather up together and not do anything dumb anymore, I guess. Buffy ends up saving Dawn in the nick of time and tries to run faster than a train, and we think it's one train, but it was really the other. It's all
there were always two trains. She was riding one to get closer to the other. So.
Yeah, it was weird, and I kind of wish she hadn't saved Dawn, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a thing about how this show is unwilling to let go. So,
yeah.
And I don't like Dawn either, but as a plot device, I think where this show I think is trying to be in a more adult place with another generation beneath you.
Yeah.
With Buffy in kind of a Giles role, while still bearing the mantle of the Slayer, I kind of like that. I wish Dawn's friends that she met in the first episodes would show up again.
Yeah. Dawn hasn't really got... Well, I mean, seriously, how's Dawn supposed to maintain friendships outside the Scooby Gang?
I don't know.
How do you talk about your weekend when it was, we brought my sister back from the dead, and then my best
You invite friends to go with you.
And get killed.
That goth girl would be all about it.
And she'd get killed. Oh, wait, she already got killed. It's just...
Wait, she already got killed? What?
I thought you meant the girl with the death wish. Well, not the death wish.
No, not her.
Thing.
When she gets lost in the basement with the guy who snuck off to do a cigarette and then...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not down for more undead shenanigans.
I don't think Willow and Xander were their first time out either, so it grew on them.
Not everyone's Willow and Xander, guys. Okay, but yeah, they ended up taking care of the thing without any kind of weaponry or anything. Mm-hmm. Xander and Spike went and got it. Xander did confess to trying the damn thing on before they threw it in the fireplace. And just for a minute, I gotta say, that's gonna stink to high heaven. Like, you do not do that inside, people. You do that on the barbecue grill.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leather, wool, or synthetic
this
fibers
is fucking
burning.
Rancho Cucamonga. It's vinyl.
Well, remember, it's 3 generations old.
That's right. Good
they
point.
may not have vinyl back then. But, like, seriously, it's probably leather and wool, and that does not smell good burning.
Nope.
Do it on the Weber grill, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
So, and we also have that throwaway scene where Buffy's saving Anya in her apartment. And I kind of like Buffy's no-nonsense attitude. Like, she refuses to apologize, and I don't think Anya wants an apology.
No.
Like, neither of them are like, this is where we were. And that was exactly how it had to go down. And
you were doing what you had to do, and I was doing what I had to do, and that sucked for us, but, I mean... so long as you're not in that position again, I won't be in my position again.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are our episodes, guys. I'm sorry I got so angry, but...
Don't be sorry. You're allowed to be angry, and it makes us interesting. I like that up until that moment, you were on board.
I was so on board! Oh my god, and I actually saw her got stabbed through the chest, so I'm like, yes, I am satisfied. This is how it went down. And, like, it's another thing about the song is, like, I got bored during the song too, but then it cuts abruptly to her stabbed against the wall. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. But she's not dead. Yeah. And not only is she not dead, but she's not going to die either. She's going to brood.
If it had ended there, you would have been satisfied.
Yeah.
You would have been like, well, that was a drop off a fucking cliff, and I'm into it.
Yeah. And I would have been mad in the same way I would have been about, like, Red Wedding. Yeah.
It's like, wow, that was really effective. It was trying to make me feel bad, and now I feel bad.
But this was trying to not make me feel bad because it didn't want me to not come back next week. And I'm like, no, take a fucking risk.
Yeah. And that is true. Joss only takes risks when it's the end game. Right. And then that's not really a risk, is it? Nope. Anyway, guys, those are our episodes. I just want to give a hot shout out to Jeff because I realize we haven't talked to him in a while and I miss him.
I feel like Jeff maybe, I don't know.
He probably did leave the service and is now a choreographer.
Oh, we don't know that because we are now in person, so we're not on Skype for him to.
That's fair. It would be hard for him to listen in now.
So
He's just got to catch the podcast when it happens.
I know. I feel like maybe Jeff is spying on Roshan and Natasha now.
I mean, if he knows what good podcasts are, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Maybe he's a patron at patreon.com/unspoiled.
I think that would be a great thing for Jeff or any of our listeners to do.
All right, y'all. I'm thirsty. I'm out of vape juice. I want to go home. We love you. This episode pissed me off, and I'm hoping this is the quality angry money content you came for. Bye!
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.